falling down through the cold and the dark. The voices grow faint. Who is she? A thirst and for what sports. If she, it's eating through her bones. Do it now. The high-pitched, rhythmic trill of crickets pulses against my skull. My eyes open to find a white ceiling with wide exposed wooden beams and a ceiling fan spinning lazy circles. I try sitting and fail spectacularly. My arms aren't working. You're all right. A gentle paw presses my shoulders down. Nick withdraws his hand. He's standing beside the bed. One sleeve of his hoodie torn to shreds. A white sheet covers the rest of my body, but underneath it, an intense itch crawls up around and over my arms. An awkward roll dislodges one limb, then panic rises. The clear ears of gauze wrap my right arm from a knuckle to elbow. I yank my left shoulder back to confirm what the itching is already telling me, but the bedding catches. Careful, Nick cautions. He folds the sheet back to expose my left arm, bandaged identically to the first. You were injured. Where am I? I croak. My throat feels like sandpaper someone's on fire. I brought you to our healer. Nick reaches for a glass of water and bedside table behind him. There's a straw, crooked at the top, and he brings the glass closer. It's awkward, and it makes me feel like a child, but I'm too thirsty to turn him down. He didn't really answer my question, and I'm sure he knows that, but there are other ways to figure out where I am. The room is comfortable in an expensive ski lodge sort of way, but the building feels old. Furniture and wallpaper done in heavy fabrics and textures no one uses in updated homes. Tall ceilings, mahogany hardwood floors and wide planks. To my right, an upholstered seat below a tall window cracked open to the night. The chirping of crickets. No lights beyond the glass pane. In the distance, the bell tower erupts in Westminster quarters. The opening notes of the melody clear, but not close. Near campus then. I finish drinking. Nick puts the glass down and moves to the window seat to sit. His expression solemn. Nothing like the Nick I met outside Lenore. What do you remember? I frown. Images coming in quick flashes. Light in the sky. Running. Nick wielding a sword. A monster. My eyes key to us in an instant. You killed it. He nods. I killed it. The bell tower chimes. The hour. 1, 2. You saved me. 3. He holds my gaze. 4. Once again. 5. A realization clear and true before I even speak it aloud. You're Legendborn. 6. He inclines his head. Yup, you must be a new page. William said he didn't recognize you. I shake my head. 7. He frowns, studying my face. But you saw the hellhound. The tower strikes 8. Nick goes still as a statue. I honestly don't know who's more stunned. Him or me. We search each other's faces as if the next step in this conversation might be written on our skin. 9. 10. All I see are the hard lines of his jaw and his eyes. Wide and wary. The strands of his straw-colored hair are still darkened from perspiration. 11. Silence. 11 o'clock. Not quite 3 hours since we met. Close to campus. In an old building. Historic home, maybe. All clues are folded together. He narrows his eyes in speculation. If you know I'm Legendborn, then you must know you're speaking within the code. You can answer me freely. How do you know that word? I chew on my bottom lip to buy myself time. The way he says code sounds as if there should be a formal trust between us. Sure, Torrent cell possess an easy ruthlessness that I can't at the moment find Nick's face. But that doesn't mean he's safe. If he's Legendborn, he could be dangerous. before we reveal any more of our own. I know why he wants his answers, but I don't know yet why he wants mine. I lift my chin, a spark of my earlier determination coming back, alongside a tiny bit of afterbreath under the surface. Just enough to fuel a wild card challenge that won't make me look ignorant. It might be just sharp enough to make him reveal himself. I know Legendborn left on easels like the one that I helped you find tonight. The wild card backfires. Oh, you want to test me? Is that it? Fine. Nick pushes up from the window seat, eyes flashing in a way that startles me. First, that wasn't just any easel. That was a sea of red, a hellhound. Lowest intelligence of the lesser demons. No speech capabilities, but the most ferocious next to the foxes. Partial corp, so it was still invisible to one's but able to injure living flesh. Another few aether infusions and it would have been as solid as you and me. And second, he runs a hand through his hair, a gesture that's part disbelief, part frustration. It's a welcome pause, because even though I'm lying down, the word demon has shifted the world beneath me. Nick's unfinished sentence has me perched in terrifying hesitation at the top of a roller coaster. His next one tips me over. Second, you didn't help me find it, Bree. You ran straight toward it. You baited a hellhound unarmed and retreat, and almost lost both of your arms for your trouble. Whoever ordered this little recon mission said you were more ignorant than I've witnessed in a page in years. I've changed my mind. If this is a game, I'm not playing anymore. Answers. Now. A demon. Both arms. Aether. I swallowed around the fresh fear swirling in my throat. I didn't know they were demons. Christ, you're either incredibly stubborn and committed to this ruse, or you're so brand new they rushed you out of here right after your demo. Nick runs a hand over his face and sighs heavily. Yeah, they're demons. This is basic information. Can you stuff? Demons. The word raises in a childhood memory. My mother taking us to church for worship in hot, humid summers, all packed to pews and paper fans and tongue depressors. I'd sit beside her, miserable with sweat dripping down the back of my polyester dress, white tights sticking to my thighs, and flip through the pew Bible to take my mind off the heat. The colorful, whisper-thin pages of art tucked in the middle realized that what the text could not. St. Peter had gates made of gold, ribbons of sun shining through white clouds that stretch on forever. Holy light blazing around, Jesus said. Invisible, impure spirits. Demons, tormenting, keeping believers in blind deception. Like in the Bible. Nick takes in my expression. When he sighs, the severity falls from his frame for a fraction of time. Like a dropped cloak. He steps forward and reaches for me, then stops when I flinch. I'm not gonna go through the trouble to heal you and turn around and hurt you again, he says, and waits for my response. After a moment of hesitation, I nod, and he gingerly takes my right hand in his to unravel the gauze in slow loops. He shakes his head. Half-educated page it is. I can't believe the jerk who put you up to this without even teaching you the fundamentals. Honestly, you should tell me who they are. They need to be reported for this kind of negligence. I just stare at him. He scratches the back of his head. I can't let you leave here without knowing the basics, or else you'll end up in a botched pit or strangled by Sarfrin, Ilfrin, or worse, Sarfrin. The Shadowborn, what we call humankind, come to our plane through gates even between our world and theirs. The Shadowborn, a strange word lingers and loops through my mind, but I'm too frightened to stop him for an explanation. No one knows where a gate will appear, but they cluster in some places more than others. corrosive enough to melt steel, he explains. I've seen a few drops burn a hole through a foot of concrete. You're lucky William was out. He places the last bit of gauze on the other loose roll on the nightstand. The rest will be healed by morning. How is that possible? We're really doing this? Yes, I whisper. Please. He scoffs. This type of ignorance is how pages get hurt or killed. What you saw in the sky was major flame, a byproduct of ether, an element in the air that only some people can see, and fewer still can manipulate. Different Legendborn use ether to do different things. Some create constructs like weapon, armor, shields. William uses it to accelerate healing. That name again. You're a healer. Someone who helped me even though he doesn't know me. Sudden shame washes over me in a wave. Nick rescued me, made sure my injuries are treated, and I just antagonized him. Thanks, I finally murmur, for helping me. And thank William. He looks over me again and notes the tremor in my fingers. His face turns patient and open. I'll let him know. But if you're looking for a thank you gift, I'm a fan of honesty. I struggle for words. I just wanted to know what I saw, what I'm seeing. I say softly. The memory of the other Merlin from the hospital rises and immediately turns sour. The flashback threatens to take me in front of this boy that I don't know. I need that memory, and I will use it, but I can't let it have me. Not now. Instead, I strengthen my wall and wrap myself around the easier facts. Last night at the Eno quarry, I saw something. Flickering light in the shape of a flying thing. Cell and Tor were there. Cell did something to me and these guys to make us forget and walk away. It's Mesmer, I guess. But after a minute it didn't work anymore. I hid, then Cell and Tor. Wait, Nick's hand shoots up. Say that again. Cell and Tor. He waves his hand impatiently. No, before that. Cell did something to make me leave and forget, but after a minute it didn't work on me. Yeah, that part. Not possible, Pageley. Mesmerized memories don't come back. His eyes fill with an emotion I can't read. Believe me, I know. I shrugged, picking at the edge of the sheet. Well, sorry, I say, copying his condescending tone. But that's what happened at Legendborn. Nick examines my face. He looks at me for so long and the room is so silent that I'm certain he can hear my heartbeat quicken. His eyes drop to my mouth, my chin, my hand still shaking on my lap. He sucks in a sharp breath. You're serious, aren't you? About everything. You aren't a northern or western spy. No. But if you can break Cell's mesmer, then he'd. Nick stops, his eyes wide as dinner plates. The color draining from his face is some understanding about me that I don't follow. I shove myself upright as my adrenaline spikes. Then he'd what? Where is he? We both jump when a voice booms. The shout echoing outside the room and down what sounds like a long hallway. Nick's attention flies to the door his eyes fastened into mine, his forehead furrowed slightly in surprise. You. It's only been a day, but I'd somehow forgotten how terrifying this boy is. Even without an excited stature, Sal's presence fills the doorway. It floods my mind with a crackling, swirling cloud of fear. Fear so palpable and alive it holds me in place like a heavy hand. But then, I remember that a man just like him, a Merlin, lied to me about my mother's death and her rising. Rage burns that fear to ash. Stay away from me, I spit. Sal's head tilts aside. 2 nights in a row you've been in the way. Nick pushes around Sal to look between the two of us. You know where? He's quick. Anything else and Sal would know I talked to Nick about the quarry. I slide along the wall to my back against the window. The glass creaks down my spine and I briefly consider whether I'm strong enough to break it. What I'd do even if I could. We've met. Something like the script. Suspicion skates across Sal's face, gone before it really lands. But she doesn't remember that. Sal enters the room, but Nick steps in his path and places a brown hand on the other boy's chest, stopping him. Sal's eyes drop to the fingers swayed against his dark gray shirt. A feral grin curves along his elegant mouth. There may come a day when you can stop me, but you and I both know it's not today. Nick's nostrils flare, and for a brief moment, I'm certain that he's about to throw a punch. That the warrior had seen fighting a hellhound could easily throw a Sal over his shoulder or knock him into a wall so harder to leave a crack. But Sal's fingers begin to twitch at his sides, the silver rings flashing against the black of his pants, and Nick does not strike. His eyes screw shut, and he lowers his hands. Sal looks almost disappointed, but he steps smoothly around Nick, tossing. You don't have to watch over his shoulder as he walks. A shadow of emotion runs beneath the grand eye of the voice. Meets eyes behind Sal's back. His early oh no. Sal falls into my field of vision and peers down perspective, closing his eyes. I don't believe in coincidences. Perhaps I should be concerned of me 2 in a row. But no, she's born would simply have herself as vulnerable as you have tonight, which means you must